Okay, so we're in an unexcavated temple of Mithras in the outskirts of London that has been here for 2,000 years and has an extremely robust internal lighting scheme. What the fuck are we doing here? What happened? I thought there was
We were trying to solve a murder.
There was, but like I don't even remember the people who were the suspects at this point.
I think the person who committed the crimes at this point is the mummy. Like, that's a consensus.
Yeah.
I remember a puzzle that involved a lot of busts, butts, and buttons.
Oh,
I know if I was trying to cover up a murder, I'd just send the world's greatest detective and his sidekick into, like, a very ancient sort of chasm and lead them on some sort of wild goose chase on puzzles and treasure while you, like, hide at the body and probably get out of the country and whatnot. Seems like
if you've got one handy, if you got one handy, it'd be a waste of a golden opportunity.
They are being held in Scotland Yard for the moment. I guess, like, maybe if they sealed us in here and we just starved to death, eventually Scotland Yard would be forced to let them go because they don't know who the fuck what's going on. We got an ice knife and a silver knife, and we're currently, like, we're not sure which one was used as the murder weapon. We're not even sure that an ice knife actually existed, or the silver knife for that matter, but we did find silver there. But the blood was watery, and I don't know. There's this broken lamp here left by presumably the person who ended up murdering.
This lamp is not old. The oil is still fresh. Perhaps Sir Rodney passed by here.
No, I do not think so. Remember, he went no further than the catacombs underneath the Frigidarium. The murderer left this lamp.
Also, we built a rope bridge, and I guess, like, whoever was here also must have gotten here somehow and then maybe dismantled the rope bridge? How did Watson follow us on the rope bridge, by the way?
Are we inside the hidden temple of Mithras?
Obviously, he was right behind you the entire time, his arms wrapped around your waist.
I don't know what you're talking about, Watson. This isn't the hidden temple of Mithras. Where the fuck are... Wait, what is that even going up to?
What are you talking about? How did Watson follow you? Elementary. You crossed the rope bridge, you got inside the tube, you turned around, and he was standing there giving you, like, a deadpan look.
That's exactly what happened, actually. Alright, well... I gotta say, this is probably the weakest case in this game so far. Actually, I kind of feel like we've been going, like, downhill since the first case. The first case was pretty good, I thought, and then the second case was not bad.
I need your help.
But...
I like the second case.
I don't share your estimation of the second case. I do agree that this is a little weak.
There were elements in the second case that did not make any sense. Like, why did we need the ghost train? That was never really explained.
The purpose of the ghost train was to obfuscate when the train disappeared.
I guess, but, like, it did not seem necessary to take it all the way to the,
No, you need to use Watson because you're holding it open for him, right?
What? No, Watson is holding it open for Holmes now, and now Holmes is gonna. Oh, that's not the door we want, is it?
No.
Hang on, what are these?
With puzzles like this, it's about a 50-50 chance that I figure it out, which is not to say it's 50-50 chance I get through it. It's like, do I actually sit down and attempt to use any of my, like, frontal lobe in solving the puzzle? Or do I just stumble about it, bleary, sleep drunk, pressing at toggles and moving people until we kind of randomly sift our way through the logic gates of the puzzle?
So, this is one of the things that's interesting about this is that unlike the other random minigames, this doesn't seem to have a skip button. This does not seem optional.
No. Which might not be great because this puzzle is definitely harder than most of the minigames. Which isn't to say it's that hard, but...
Well, now we've got it open, but the switch to open the door behind us is behind where Watson... Okay, I think I get what we're going to do here. Well,
See, to me, like, okay,
No.
you talk about the Ghost Train not making sense. The Ghost Train makes sense entirely within the Sherlock Holmes style to you, where you accept the idea that people do absolutely outrageous things because they think it's clever and because it makes for an interesting mystery. Like, if you were trying to rob a place, you probably would not find it necessary to invent a fictional organization specifically for the enfranchisement of red-headed people. And yet, spoilers, that's pretty much the plot of the Red-Headed League, which is a Sherlock Holmes story. And, like, again, if you're gonna steal a train, you probably would not literally find it necessary to construct and then demolish a ghost train just to buffalo, like, the railroad employees into, like, making it into a disappearing train thing that has no explanation instead of one that has an obvious explanation. But again, it's a mystery. But now we're coming in and we're adding in genre stretches which belong to a different genre. Like, this is some Raiders of the Lost Ark Uncharted shit.
That's not
This
good.
is not good.
What happened?
What happened?
I have a message on my screen that says whoops, spelled WOOPS. OBS has crashed. I think my display driver just died. The game went away. Bandicam is still recording, but not really. Let's see what just happened. Failed to stop. Yeah, force the recording to stop, please. Thank you. No, I do not. Well, I guess, yeah, let's put crash data in clipboard and drop this in Notepad. Failed to recreate D3D11. Failed to duplicate output 800700005. Cool. That last number
That
there
old chestnut.
is in an open parentheses that does not have a closed parentheses after it. Okay.
The Mummy's Curse
All right,
destroyed
so-
our recording.
That was weird. I had a sort of Rutskarn level crash. I think my graphics card
Oh, like,
blew
you're
up.
not synonymous with glitches and, like, stream issues as well.
Yeah, but it doesn't usually melt my PC.
That's true.
I think I may need to replace my graphics card soon. I think it's either that or it's my CPU. Although I recently dialed down the overclock I've got on it, so if it's my CPU, that's a bad thing. I guess I really should start thinking about upgrading this thing at some point. Anyway, we're back where we started here. Unfortunately, I've had a few minutes to think about the puzzle. So I think what I'm going to have us do actually is... Okay, so we have to start that way.
What was they talking about when it crashed?
We were
honestly
complaining
don't
about
remember.
the nature of the
Watson, I
genres.
need
I
your
think
Oh, right, yeah.
we were defending the integrity of the
What can I do,
ghost train.
Holmes? But do you need a back massage? Anything? I gave
Take
up on
his
that
shit.
British
Take
accent
his
real
shit.
fast.
Take his shit.
This is-
But yeah, you know, this is clearly using the trope language of a completely different genre of adventure, and as I think I've pointed out, like, it doesn't work as well, and it also, if it's not 100% entertaining, you kind of grow to resent it. Like, why is it here?
Well, it's not just a different genre of adventure. Like, this is all Indiana Jones, but it's a different genre of game too, right? Like, this is all stumbled into Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, whereas before it was more of a narrative adventure where you had to pay attention to characters and motivations. Now none of that really matters. We're not talking to characters. We're not trying to arm wrestle Finnegan down at the bar and find out about his unemployment problems. We're trying to solve a stupid chain of stupid doors.
We have now trapped Watson on the other side of a door that he cannot open.
It's like,
Which means we've solved it, because Watson was clearly the murderer of all the cases, actually. So goodbye, Watson. See you
earlier,
later.
Chris, you asked
Can I just
what
leave?
who this game was made for,
Just walk away.
and like,
Yeah, can you just
Yes.
like leave him there?
Oh.
Oh, the curse of
that's
the
funny.
tomb will not let you leave.
No, I popped back over to Watson because it's surprising to me that it doesn't just stop us right there, but
It just lets you get
Hello.
bored of your own mischief.
So now we're in here.
But, you know, Chris, earlier you asked who this was for, and I talked about how it's kind of a successor to, like, the 2000s, early 2010s, like, sleeper adventure games, designed for people that you don't, like, that weren't traditionally identified as a demographic by publications. Like, you know, games that never got reviewed in PC Gamer or Computer Gaming World, but that found their audience of people who enjoy this kind of, like, brain-teasery, stimulaty 3D third-person adventure game. And the earlier games in this franchise were much more like this. And I feel like this, you know, in some ways, this is almost their concession. Like, this is them saying...
Here's a throwback level.
Yeah, this is them saying, like, we don't know if this new thing is going to take or not, so let's kind of include one classic setup.
So you must run. There we go. So I don't need that open anymore. And this opens that door.
I mean, I say that I'm speculating as to the rationale, but it may also just
and
be...
now Watson can leave Sherlock trapped in the tomb.
I cannot leave Holmes trapped here alone.
Or not.
Though he did ruin my favorite handkerchief.
Oh, man.
Darn.
This mechanism seems inactive.
Watson, there's a very fine strain of Amontillado opium inside this cage.
So... what does that do for us here? Oh, right, okay. The other one here, I think.
Whatever you do, don't ask me for advice. I completely forget.
You have beaten
sequence
this.
was. I did beat it, but I think I actually did understand the sequence when I did it, but it left my brain immediately. Anyway, I think the next couple cases are pretty cool. No, next couple cases are pretty cool. The next one might be my favorite. It's a little goofy in parts, but I just like it.
So that opens that door.
The door controlled by this mechanism.
Okay. I don't actually know if that did anything for us at all. No, okay, this is the wrong one. If we could just skip all of the cutscenes where the doors open, that'd be swell.
Otherwise, how do you know which door's open? Honestly, if I was going to cut something, I'd cut the animation of you turning the lever.
Yeah. I also don't like that it keeps kicking us out the third person, which is the objectively incorrect.
Okay, no wait.
So we can open the...
Wait, Watson gets out, and then... Sorry, Holmes gets out, and then Watson turns the other lever.
So that door opens, and then we can both leave?
Wait, no, doesn't the other lever Watson has open the door to the...
No, it opens
thing?
this door right here.
Are they valves?
No,
they're called levers within the game's
2,000-year-old mechanisms in this temple of unexcavated temple of Mithras.
Cranks,
that's what this is.
If I was in this was a Dungeons and Dragons game and I was going to call them something, I think I would call them. Let's see. Honestly, just off the top of my head, I'd probably call them cranks.
I would call them turny nobblers.
Okay, let's open this again so that door opens
I
to
actually
Sherlock.
think I would probably call them capstans.
I don't know what that word means. Like,
It's like-
turny nobblers captures the essence of the object.
I don't feel like... I think this is how we leave. I don't think this is actually... I think we solved the puzzle for how we get out of here, not the puzzle for how we open the door with the dagger. So, okay. Now Watson can leave this place, and we can go... over here.
This puzzle should be skippable.
It really should. Can you imagine, like, Watson and Holmes shuffling along?
I know what... Okay. I
you
know
imagine
what we're
Wa-
doing, actually, here.
Can you imagine Watson and Holmes shuffling along doing this puzzle in silence while, like, the absurdity of their situation has time to sink in? Just like the fact that they're here beneath, like, an unexcavated temple, turning levers to themselves, not really sure what it's going to lead to, not sure, like, what mechanisms they're making sense of.
Also, wouldn't these, like, if we're just saying that this is a real place that housed some sort of, like, treasure or whatever, wouldn't there be lots of, like, things designed to make you lose your mind and, like, get lost and...
No, wait, that
Didn't we
doesn't
kind of
work.
have that in the last episode with the path where you needed the chart to be able to navigate it? Kind of. Not really, but...
I mean, at this point, they really might as well just go full bore and just have a booby trap.
Watson
I'm surprised
dies
that hasn't
mysteriously.
showed up yet. Like, we haven't had a single, like, spike wall or log thing, whatever it's
I'm
called.
reasonably confident that it doesn't exist. And I think maybe the only reason for that is that I don't think they can get away with having Watson or Holmes die.
Yeah,
I
but you
mean,
could just have them be invincible.
Wait, no, I've heard about this series by reputation, and I know in spoilers for, I think, the one that came after Jack the Ripper, but before this one, Sherlock just, like, dies and like 9 hours into the game. And
Also,
then,
for the record, that is something that Conan Doyle himself did.
well,
yeah, like, that happens all the time.
Yeah, his last
So why can't
bow.
we just kill Sherlock or Watson here and then like, the booby trap faked my death.
Or just, like, pull a
Okay.
Guybrush Threepwood.
So, one of the things that's driving me nuts is that it fades to black every time you trigger the animation, and then it cuts to a man who is dressed basically the same as the other man, and I get very lost as to which person I'm looking at.
You can... The hat
lever
is
does
not an
that.
indicator for you?
I
What
guess?
does this lever do?
I don't know how much of it is just the stream quality versus the... I mean, because...
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't Watson
Men's
know it's
fashion
bad
is
manners
very
to keep his hat
varied
on
and
inside
unique.
a temple?
Is it, though?
No.
Oh man, everybody, there was that Twitter thread about that one person who supposedly was responsible for ruining men's fashion, and everybody got really disproportionately mad about it in different directions
Oh,
for an
yes,
entire
the-
month.
Oh, right, we need to examine
I
this
remember
lamp.
that. That was such a great thread.
It's just
It's
like a
true,
hand
though.
grenade.
The golden
It's
knife
actually
has
amazing how little men's
A
fashion
long-lost
has
relic has
changed.
resurfaced. Watson,
Sure.
it is time to conclude this case.
Is it time to conclude the case now? Is that... Oh
It's
no.
time to conclude
Well, I
the
hope there weren't
case.
any clues back there.
We should find another way.
Okay, so the puzzle here is how to...
It's a Skyrim dungeon. We're fine. There'll be another way.
It's how to leave, but we figured that out, so...
It's time to slay the dragon.
Like, what would Victorian readers even fucking make of this?
They wouldn't.
And then,
It would be insane.
and then Watson turned his crank, and then Holmes went over and through the door that opened and turned his crank.
Okay,
You're
you
laughing? Okay, yes. I was gonna say that would
You
be
first,
actually
Alex.
something. I was gonna say that would actually be like how it would be described in a Victorian novel. Every little detail like that would be so novel and interesting.
Absolutely. Like, even not quite Victorian. So I have a very strong relationship, both positive and negative, with the game. Call of Cthulhu: The Dark Corners of the Earth. I think it's on balance not a very good game, but there are parts of it that make you wish it was. And the
What is
best
that
part
game
of it-
like?
It has like a solid hour of brilliance, and the rest is bad. Anyway, but the best part of it by far, and one of like the most intense gaming experiences I've had, is where you wake up in a hotel, and like there are people banging on the door which you've locked, like to come kill you, and there's like an adjoining room that you have a door to, so you have to run in there, and like it's locked, and you have to like move furniture, and like you're sort of desperately trying to escape by running through this hotel. And the thing that makes it so intense is there's people banging on the door and yelling and like trying to cut you off and get in and get you, but you have to, and it's like very much like task by task, like throw that lock, move that bookshelf, throw that lock, come through that door, open that window, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then I read the original novella, Shadow over Innsmouth, which that sequence is based on, and he just straight up, like, basically writes that sequence, like, in his shorts, in his novella. It's like, it's very much like detail by detail, like, then I ran and I slammed that lock shut. They started coming in through this door, so I locked that door and moved some furniture in front of it. I moved through the adjoining room to the next door. Then I moved some furniture across that, and it's like, wow, he's just, like, he's writing his Let's Play.
So the exit was a teleporter that put us into the cab. Cool, right?
It's very
Yeah.
convenient.
To the end of the dungeon. Now you're back at the front again.
Is cab what they would call it back in the day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you guys know so much about history? That's hard.
Books.
I studied like literature for years and years and years.
That's a lot of words.
It is.
That's too many words.
Don't recommend. But yes, I have read many a Victorian novel. It wasn't by choice, but you know, you run into it occasionally in the literatures.
We're still missing some evidence. Great, we're back here.
I was going to use the example of one of the worst James Bond novels ever, You Only Live Twice, which opens with literally a very detailed description of James Bond playing rock, paper, scissors with Tiger Tanaka, and he's explaining in great detail what the rules of rock, paper, scissors are, which each symbol in the hand means. He like details the battle, the best out of 5, and it is the most horrible, boring, like it's...
Hello, sir. Excuse me, I need your apron.
Which is why when it came down to writing the screenplay and Ian Fleming was dead by that point, they were like, someone has to fix this. Let's call Roald Dahl. And that's exactly what happened. So yes,
did not know
Roald Dahl
that.
wrote the script for You Only Live Twice, the movie. Fun fact.
I like how
There is no rock, paper, scissors in the movie.
Roll Dog.
Sir
really
Rodney
awesome
is still
short
here.
story.
His, like, repertoire is just all over the place. He was an insanely talented writer.
Yeah. Because, like,
He
not
wrote
like...
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, God's sakes.
I know, like, he wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and he wrote a story about, like, a homeless guy getting his back cut off because it's got a tattoo by a famous artist on it.
Why do you ask?
All I know about Chitty
Where
Chitty
you
Bang
seeking
Bang is that
the
scene in
golden
Rugrats
knife?
where Phil and Lil's mom gets real upset when
I
other
see
people
you're an
badmouth
amateur.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yes, the golden knife.
I don't remember that.
It is said that it bears
And
the
I've seen a lot of
I-
Rugrats.
explaining the ritual of the
I don't know
golden
why I
knife.
remember it. I just, that's
understand.
one scene that stuck out in my head.
The famous scene from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is
the
the
knife would
where
provide
the
immortality
children
only
snatch your
to the
town,
worthy
where
one.
all the town is
Yet it
just
is
full of
cursed,
people who
and it
snatch
would kill
children,
you
and it's
if you
very
were not
upsetting.
initiated.
Yep. You know, actually, now that you mentioned that Roald Dahl wrote the screenplay, that
Did you
movie
expect
suddenly
to
makes a
find
lot
the
more
golden
sense.
knife at the
Doesn't
bar?
it?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there's
Yeah,
like
like-
crazy like prosthetic sequence where he transforms into a Japanese man, volcano lair. Although that wasn't Roald Dahl's idea.
Roald Dahl's skill in writing children's fiction is to come up with really weird things that are terrifying to kids, which an adult would not normally think of.
But also when you think about it, then it's also scary.
Yeah.